Welcome to your virtual personal training online session. Before we get started, make sure you have your foam roller, bands, a mat. I've got my timer here. We are going to start with our foam rolling first. We're going to foam roll our calves. I've got my timer set for 30 seconds. So we're placing that foam roller right above the ankle. We're going to lift and we're going to extend our legs out, roll through those calves, try to tuck our hips back, slow and controlled. Now you might feel some areas that are tight, sore. If you do, focus on that spot right here. If you need to relax, just set your hips back down onto your mat and then continue your roll. So we're only doing 30 seconds. If you have more time, it's better to do more. If you can do up to a minute each muscle group. Next up, we're gonna readjust our foam roller for our hamstrings. Same thing, we're gonna post our hands down, lift our hips up, extend our legs out. We're going right up to our hip, and then back slow, controlled, tuck those hips, then extend. And if you feel a tight spot, like I feel one right here, we want to hold onto that spot. That's our 30-second timer. Next up, we're going to flip over and we're going to do our quads, the muscles on the front. So this one, just like you're getting into a plank, and in your plank, lifting those feet up, you want to rock yourself back and then pull yourself up and forward. Almost like that exercise plank body saw if you've ever done that one before. Now if you feel a tight spot, you can hold right at that area. So for me, about right here. Good. And then the next one we'll have to split into two areas. We're going to do the TFL, which is just a muscle that kind of runs on the outside of your hip. So we're just readjusting. We're placing the front side of our hip onto that foam roller. Now these are smaller rolls, so I basically just lift my heels up and away, and then drive my heels down and back to focus on that spot. Ties in with the quad. Probably some muscles that are overactive. They're doing more work than they should. So now we want to switch, and foam rolling will just help relax those muscles. Then we'll get a stretch and we'll go through the rest of our warm-up. So let's switch over to our other side. Starting that timer. So smaller, shorter rolls, and you may feel one side is tighter than the other side. That can be common. Just spend a little bit more time on that side, the side that feels tighter. Good. So my muscles are feeling relaxed already, which is good. So next up, we want to go into our stretch. We're going to go into a kneeling lunge. So one knee down, and we're going to lean forward into that lunge. That helps stretch our hip flexor, and then down into our quad. And then we can raise our arms up, get a stretch for our lats. And we want to turn to the side of our knee that's up. And then we can stretch that hamstring, just straighten that leg out, reach down to the toe. And then if we want to even tie in more of a quad stretch, we can reach back with our opposite hand to our down knee and lift that foot up. And then relax. We have to make sure that we switch. So leaning forward into that lunge. Bring our hands out wide and up. Turning to the side of our up knee. And now straightening out that front leg. Reaching to that toe. Good. Then we can reach around for our quad stretch. Grab that ankle. Good. So basic foam rolling, basic stretching. And now we want to work on just getting some activation and getting our glutes fired up. And we want to use our band. This is going to be a seated hip abduction. And we're using that band just for some resistance. So as we're sitting here, making sure that we're sitting nice and tall, shoulder blades pinned back, and we're putting as much resistance against that band as we can as we turn and move our knees out to the side. So that's straightening up or strengthening up our IT band to the glutes, getting those glutes activated. And let's do 20 repetitions. Doesn't have to be fast, slow, controlled, but keep a tight core. Sometimes that band moves. If you need to, just readjust. All right, good. So next up, we'll do our standing kickbacks. So you can use that same band or adjust your band as needed. So with our kickbacks, I'm going to have my weight on one foot and I'm kicking up and back with my other foot. We're going to do 10 reps and then switch. But this one we're going to do 2 rounds. Try to get as much tension on that band as you can. Kick up and back as high and as far out as you can. 9, 10, and then we're going to switch. And this one we're doing a second set of 10. Switch sides. And we really want to focus on squeezing our glute as we're kicking up and back. When you do 10, switch. Okay, good. So I'm going to switch my band because next up we're going to do a side leg raise. So with this band, you're going to make sure that your feet are on top, that you're pulling for tension on the band, pinning those handles by your hips, and we're going to put more pressure on one leg as we lift that other leg up and out. Try to get as much tension. Again, 10 reps on this side, then we'll switch. Good. So let's switch to the other side, putting pressure on the other leg and then lifting this one up as far up and out as you can. Again, keep that brace on your core. We're doing 2 rounds of 10, so when you get to 10, switch, other side. And then switch. Make sure to keep those handles pinned at your sides. Good, so we did 2 sets of 10. Now if you have more time, it's great to get another set in. So you can do these 2 more times, or each one of these exercises 1 more time, those 2 exercises. So if you have time, you can hit pause, you can do that. If not, we're gonna keep going forward. And one of the best exercises for the lower body are squats. Now we're gonna do 10 body weight squats. You can either have your hands behind your head or across your chest. We want those feet about shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. So I'm gonna do this one with my hands across my chest, and we wanna go down into that squat and up. As we go down into that squat, we wanna try to get our legs parallel to the floor. As you're squatting, inhale, exhale. We want to keep our butt down, but our head up. And as you're coming up in your squat, bring those hips forward, stand up nice and tall. Squeeze those glutes. Good. So next up, we're going to be doing donkey kicks. Now you can use the band for this, or you can do this without the band. Without the band, we're going to be like this, and we're kicking our heel up and back. We're going to do 10 reps on this side. And then switch. If you want to make this more challenging, curl those toes, lift those knees up off the mat, and do your donkey kick with those knees elevated